So this is going to be a quick talk. The Hyrax app that's behind this is not particularly complex, but I'll tell you a little story about it. So earlier this year, there was a research data commons or research data department at IU who got in touch with us at the library because they needed some help with a project they had. They've had this thing called, oh, just a moment. This is in the wrong place. Cannot see my tabs. All right. They've had an effort to create a data catalog of various data sets that are available to researchers and professors at IU. The goal being to make sure that everyone knows what data sets are available, both so that they're actually used, but also so that there aren't duplicate purchases made by disparate departments. So they had created this kind of a mock-up site here that they call the data catalog. We're very big fans of these DC titles for our sites, aren't we? Digital collections, data catalog, data core. Anyway, it's this list of different data sets that are available. You can click on them, and there's a few links here, a bit more information. It's not too complicated. So they'd approached us asking if we could help out with creating a better site for this. And then they did some research. They looked at perhaps just using a plain blacklight site for kind of re-implementing this, but decided that they needed a little bit more editing ability or just a little more than blacklight itself offered out of the box. So I suggested that I could set up a quick demo of pretty much out of the box Hyrax just to show them how it would work, and they seem to be pretty satisfied with that, with a few modifications here and there. So here is a brand new Hyrax 5 app running on really just on Postgres, but that isn't all that important for this particular instance because there isn't really any associated file sets with these entries. These are really just work objects without files attached. It's We've changed it so that the home page is really just a direct link to the catalog view. And there's been a fair bit of metadata customization. My cat's saying hi. Hi, Chaos. Um, yeah, so this is just a few entries. This site is very much still in development. Only a few of the fields are visible on the index page. We can go look at the details for one of these. And I've copied over the information from that demo site, the data catalog that they had created before, just to see what this could look like. Um, and it's pretty straightforward. There isn't any files attached, like I mentioned. If we go back to the index page, you might notice that all the works are missing their the plain blue default image, like we still see on the details page. It's a detail that needs to be fixed up still. Just because it's not expected that these are going to have images attached. The capability still exists to have an image uploaded just as like a logo kind of thing, but it's not really the focus here. On the index screen, you can see that there's still a collection here. We are expecting them to make use of collection abilities, but this needs to be cleaned up a little bit. This is still very default. Yeah. So it's really just a site that lets folks browse around and see what is available at other sites within the IU sphere of availability. We're not actually hosting the data sets themselves within this instance. It's really just a lookup. There's a few customizations like I mentioned. The various metadata fields have been fairly heavily customized, uh, making use of the new metadata.yaml file. Actually, I can bring that up real quick. Um, just with an ID here. So this is our dataset metadata config file. We added in a bunch of things. Most of these have a custom display label that they wanted that differs from the internal field value. It's fairly easy on this side of things. Doing the customization on the view side is still a bit of work, but I'm really hopeful that the upcoming flexible metadata will be very useful to make this process even easier. Um, I'll also call out here that this site is hosted using Docker. Here's our Docker file down here on the bottom side of the screen. It's really based on the Hyrax base image and just copies in uh, the files from this repo and does a bundle install, and that's about it. So that part is pretty easy. Um, there's a few other issues we ran into, but that was very specific to our hosting setup uh, using Podman Compose, an older version of it. So not really relevant, but just a few details. It's really been really helpful because this is all Hyrax 5, and as Julie just talked about, our digital collection site is still Hyrax 2, and we are in the process of getting upgraded. So this has been a great way to get familiar with how we would need to deploy a Hyrax 5 app and what changes are needed there, which hasn't been very much. Like I said, we were doing it through Docker, and that's even an easier build than our digital collection site has been. What else was there to show? Oh, another customization was you might notice here in this summary, there's kind of this bolded section here. Uh, the product owners for this wanted a bit more ability to customize the formatting within these fields, especially like description and summary. So this actually does, it will parse markdown text and parse it into HTML here. So this is just like a simple test of that, making it bold in line there. Um, yeah, neat little feature, not too difficult to implement. I could even see it being something added to Hyrax as like a feature flippable or something like that, if folks are really interested in that. Now you can see that that same formatting happens on the catalog index. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just a quick show of Hyrax 5 actually in use in development and hopefully of things to come. Thanks.